Today is Saturday, November 2nd. Good morning for WRCO News. I'm Caitlin O'Connell. A jail altercation last weekend has led to 2 people being arrested. Vernon County Sheriff Roy Torgerson reports the arrests were made following an altercation that occurred in the county jail last Saturday night in the city of WRCO. At approximately 8:30, correctional officers were alerted and immediately responded to a sudden physical assault in one of the dormitory-style cells. Correctional staff separated everyone involved to ensure scene safety and rendered aid to the victim, a sentenced inmate. The victim was transported to Vernon Memorial Healthcare in WRCO by Gunderson Tri-State Ambulance. The victim was released from the hospital shortly before midnight and returned to jail. As a result of the investigation by the sheriff's office, 2 sentenced inmates, Zachary James Blackwood, 21 of South Wayne, and Demandry Andrew Tyshawn Frazier, 28 of La Crosse, were both formally arrested late Thursday morning. Bail hearings for both Blackwood and Frazier will be scheduled in Vernon County Circuit Court. Battery by prisoner in the state of Wisconsin is a Class H felony. Megan Wolf, administrator for the Wisconsin Elections Commission and chief elections official for the state of Wisconsin, held a press conference online Friday afternoon. She stated that Wisconsin is the most decentralized in the country for elections, with 1,922 local election officials.
Where most other states run elections at the county level, in Wisconsin, it's the municipal clerk in each city, town, and village who registers voters, issues ballots, maintains the voter rolls, and trains poll workers. County clerks also play an important role in assisting with clerk training, printing ballots, and posting unofficial election night results.
Unlike some 40 other states that have a Secretary of State to oversee elections, usually an elected official themselves, Wisconsin has a bipartisan commission.
In Wisconsin, the state's elections are overseen by a 6-member bipartisan Wisconsin Elections Commission. The commission has 3 Republican commissioners and 3 Democratic commissioners who are appointed by legislative leadership of the 2 major parties. And I and the staff of the Wisconsin Elections Commission are required to be nonpartisan.
The number of absentee votes as of Friday morning was 645,190 mailed-in absentee ballots requested, with 537,645 returned so far, and 883 absentee ballots have been returned by voters. This is a 48% increase in absentee voting over the 2020 numbers so far this election. Megan Wolf added that there has been a lot of inaccurate information floating around about non-citizens voting in the state.
Let me be clear, under no circumstances are non-citizens allowed to vote in the state of Wisconsin, ever. In order to vote in Wisconsin, voters must certify on their voter registration form that they are a U.S. citizen. Further, most Wisconsinites present a photo ID to vote, and that can include something like a Wisconsin driver license or ID card, a U.S. passport, a military ID, a certificate of naturalization, documents that require the voter to provide legal status documentation to the government entity who issues them.
The general election will be held Tuesday, November 5th. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. On election night, the state's biggest city could cause everyone else to wait. Civic Media's Stuart J. Waddles has more.
Milwaukee's absentee ballot results are typically reported late on election night, often after midnight. That's due to the large number of ballots and state law restrictions. The Wisconsin State Senate earlier this year blocked a bill to allow earlier absentee ballot processing. That means Milwaukee can't start to count until Election Day. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson knows people across the state and the country will be paying attention.
And so we know that there are going to be a lot of people who are watching Milwaukee. And we know, because we will require this, we always have required this in the city, that in Milwaukee we will follow the law. At the same time, we encourage every eligible voter to participate.
Early voting in Wisconsin can take place through Sunday, though not all communities go that far.
Over 1/4 of Wisconsin schools are seeking a referendum this fall. With more, here's Civic Media's Jimmy Kuska.
On Tuesday, Wisconsin voters in 121 school districts will be asked yes or no on referendum questions. Districts are seeking a total of over $4.2 billion from local taxpayers for operations and facilities projects. State Superintendent Jill Underly says the number of referendums is proof that public education is underfunded in Wisconsin.
School districts are telling us that they need more resources. Most public school districts have gone, are going, or will be forced to go to referendum just to make ends meet.
Underly has already announced DPI budget requests for next year, calling for over $300 million in youth mental health services, a free meals program for students, and an initiative to recruit and retain educators.
The DPI's next biennial budget request will again ask that we fully fund mental health aid for our students.
Just this year, school districts have asked 243 referendum questions for a total of nearly $6 billion in additional funding from local taxpayers. For Civic Media News, I'm Jimmy Kuska.
Locally, the Ithaca School District is asking voters to approve an operational referendum in the amount of $1.3 million each year for its duration of 4 years. As its name implies, revenue received via an operational referendum is used to meet the costs associated with operating the district, which may include attract and retain qualified teachers, Chromebooks for one-to-one instruction, access points to provide a reliable internet connection school-wide, additional safety operations, and a school bus with the intention of returning to a biannual purchase rotation to minimize repair costs. In addition, the Baraboo School District is seeking $85.7 million. The Iowa Grant District is seeking $1.2 million. The Lafarge School District is seeking $900,000. Wisconsin Dells District is seeking $4.5 million, and the Reedsburg District has 2 referendum questions totaling $30 million. The weather is changing, and that means it's time for fall home maintenance. Brittany Merlot explains what we should do.
And the weather is changing. That means it's time for fall home maintenance. The Better Business Bureau is reminding us of important tips to prepare your home before winter weather arrives. Like clean your gutters, inspect your roof, test your smoke and carbon dioxide detectors, check your windows and doors for air leaking, and organize your garage and store patio furniture and other outdoor items inside. You can visit bbb.org for more home maintenance tips.
As the temperatures have begun to drop, it is important to remember to set our clocks back 1 hour tomorrow morning. Daylight saving time will come to an end at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning as we return to standard time. With the end of daylight saving time, sunrise will be at 6:41 with sunset at 4:49. The best practice for many is to turn clocks back tonight before going to bed. It is also a good time to replace your batteries and your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. If you have an emergency kit at home, this weekend is also a great time to check for expired products or items that may have been borrowed for other purposes and need to be replaced. Pay attention in particular to the expiration dates on batteries, first aid supplies, and food. Again, don't forget to set your clocks back tomorrow morning as daylight saving time officially ends at 2 o'clock in the morning. A celebration will be held today from 10 until 2 o'clock this afternoon to observe the 55th anniversary of the Brewer Public Library in Richland Center. During the event, a free will donation chili lunch will be served from 11 until 1 or until gone. The book sale room will be open, and there will also be live music with Monty Berger. You can also pick up a copy of Borgia Rose, The Poisoning of Richland County, written by local author Katie Albaugh. Sharon Zales is from the Brewer Public Library.
It's a free book. You can stop by the front desk, I believe, and ask for it. It's an excellent book. If you know Richland Center, Richland County at all, you will be very impressed by this book. And then there's going to be a community read on that later.
The community read of the free novel will be held later in February. During the celebration, you will meet staff members, learn about various programs at the library, and ask any questions you may have. The Friends of the Brewer Public Library and the Brewer Public Library invites everyone to the library's 55th anniversary open house today from 10 until 2 o'clock. Brewer Public Library is located at 325 North Central Avenue in Richland Center. You can find more information about the event and about the library at richlandcenter.wi.gov/library. The Wisconsin Electric Cooperative Association Board of Directors announced it has selected Rob Richard to serve as the statewide association's next president and CEO. Richards has been serving in a dual role as interim president and CEO and vice president of government relations and external affairs since August. He also serves as the executive director of the Federated Youth Foundation. According to the Wisconsin Electric Cooperative Association Board Chair, Dan Hilberry, Rob has demonstrated his ability to be an exceptional leader with the knowledge and dedication necessary to lead our statewide as it continues to work on behalf of Wisconsin electric cooperatives and their members. When we knew we had an extremely strong candidate in-house, as a board recognized the critical importance of this position, we felt it was necessary to do our due diligence and conduct a nationwide search. After reviewing more than 100 applications, many of which were also from highly qualified candidates, we decided Richard was the best choice. With him at the helm, we are assured a streamlined transition and a continuity of operations, which is important as we work to ensure all electric cooperative members have access to safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. Rob Richard grew up in southwestern Wisconsin and earned a degree from UW-Platteville. His experience includes time as a legislative staffer, working in the office of the former Wisconsin Electric Cooperative Association president and CEO, Steve Freese, and when Freese served as a representative in the Wisconsin State Assembly, as well as the offices of Representative Mark Gottlieb and Senator Scott Fitzgerald. He also worked in government affairs at the Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation and at Circus World Museum. He joined the Wisconsin Electric Cooperative Association in January of 2019. He lives in Sauk City. Rob Richard succeeds Steve Freese, who died August 28th following a battle with cancer.